This podcast is funded by Ted Dintersmith, the executive producer of the acclaimed film Most Likely to Succeed, and the author of the best-selling book What School Could Be.
Hey everyone, this is the What School Could Be podcast. I'm your host, Josh Rapoon. Today I'm going to share with you a special something, a very short special something. One of my former podcast guests, Jonathan Medeiros, reached out to me to see if I might join his high school students who are using podcasts as a way to demonstrate their learning in a language arts class. I was only too happy to say yes. That session, last spring 2023, was marvelous. I shared the story behind my show, and they shared the projects they were working on and how a podcast could be a way to demonstrate their knowledge and skill development in the language arts. Later, Jonathan sent me their finished podcasts, which I listened to and provided written feedback on. Jonathan and I decided it would be way cool if I had my editor, the very talented Evan Kurahara, work his magic and turn one of these student podcasts into a special What School Could Be podcast episode. So first, who is Jonathan Medeiros? Jonathan is a national board-certified Kauai high school teacher who has been teaching and learning about language arts and rhetoric for 17 years. He is one of those super interesting educators, a writer, surfer, maker, and builder who came back to his home community to teach. He and his students learn about curiosity, community, and place. They build deeper connections to each other and the places they live by being curious about where they live, the stories of those places, and then following those curiosities wherever they lead. Jonathan is the former director of the Kauai Teacher Fellowship, a poet, essayist, and also writes frequently about education, equity, and the power of curiosity. He believes that curiosity kills boredom, and that if you change all of your mistakes or regrets, you'll erase yourself. Jonathan's wife, Erin, is also a language arts teacher at Kauai High School and another of my former podcast guests. So what is the context behind the short, student-generated episode you are about to hear? Jonathan writes, quote, "In my language arts classes, I often ask students to put texts in conversation with each other, to notice when one text might be commenting on, criticizing, responding to, or expanding on another. As students begin to understand, notice, and appreciate that conversations are taking place all around us, across borders and time, we practice joining these conversations as well. This past school year, one way we tried to do this was by creating podcasts. Students had very few guidelines for this project, but were trying to sharpen their abilities to develop and communicate insights. They had to think about audience and purpose. They needed to consider the wider conversations they might be joining through their podcasts. The group featured here envisioned a series of conversations around big topics. In this episode, they take a closer look at how social media influences our perceptions of love and what impacts our parents have on our love lives. In this conversation, students take you on a journey through what they think it means to be in love. And now, listeners, here are Jonathan Medeiros' students reflecting on the nature and meaning of love. Enjoy.
Group 1. Hello guys, we're Group 1. I'm Zayden.
I'm Luis.
I'm Vanessa.
I'm Aubrey.
I'm Gabby.
And our podcast today is going to be about love.
A lot of teens in our day get caught up in the perceptions that social media portrays about love. In today's episode, we are not only going to talk about this, but also the expectations and dynamics we face with our parents.
Everything we consume takes fractions of our bias and the way we perceive relationships. expecting the quote-unquote perfect relationship, when in reality, we truly have no clue as to how these bonds are supposed to work.
Why do you think that social media or like any sort of media we partake in can take such an influence on things like relationships and like how we perceive them and how we think about them?
It's kind of like our diet in a way. It's our media diet. Like if that's what we're consuming, then that's kind of what we're programmed in a way to believe.
I mean, adding on to that, it's kind of like the only thing we can consume in a way, because the internet is literally all around us. And in the generation we're growing up in now, it's technology. So I think the internet and people who are big on the internet have a huge influence, especially on younger children or maybe people in our age.
Yeah, Zayden, the examples we have really are people from the internet and then our own parents. We learn a lot from those two things.
Right, yeah.
So like, what is everyone's parents' thoughts on you being in a relationship?
My parents really don't care if I'm in a relationship, but on the other hand, my grandma does care because she like wants me to focus more on my studies instead of being in the relationship.
My parents are the exact same way. Focus on your studies, because being in a relationship is a lot of commitment.
For me, it's actually kind of different. There was an initial reaction of shock. Okay, short story. After 1 month, I told my mom because we were hanging out with a whole bunch of friends. And on the way home with my other friend in the car, I felt comfortable telling my mom. So I was like, Mom, I've been dating this guy for a month. And she's freaked out. She's like, what? And she went on this story about how she only started dating at 19 years old. And she kind of compared it a little bit, but over time, as she got to meet him more, my parents became a lot more lenient about it, but they know that it's also a responsibility.
My mom, I can tell that she's like trying to like understand from my point of view, so I think she's kind of like calm about it. Well, more calm than my dad. Because I do tell them like I'm like interested in people, because of course I'm a teen, I'm a girl, of course I'm gonna like people. My dad, oh, he's the worst one. He's scared. He's scared, and it's kind of like a double standard whenever he talks about me and my brother dating. It's kind of like irritating because I'm older. I'm in high school. I have my license. Like, can you just let me do something for myself? For my brother, they don't really care. He's 6th grade.
Oh, that took a turn.
It's also interesting too because I notice parents put their experiences onto us.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I got into a bunch of relationships when I was young and it was not the right thing, so I'm not gonna let you do the same. And they're just putting all their baggage onto us. They're sharing their experiences, but at the same time it feels controlling.
Yeah.
They're like coming from like the right situation because it's from them. At the same time, I'm my own person, you know?
Yeah.
Let me live.
Yeah. Is anything going on with you guys and your parents in that situation specifically?
I'm gonna just say it, bro. My phone. I got a time limit on my phone, man. I got screen time.
Oh.
And it's like, God, for real?
That's frustrating. Did
Yeah,
that happen
it is very
recently?
No, it's been like that since like 8th grade, bro.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Yeah, see, my parents went through a phase where they were like just really controlling with that. And I think they were trying to do what they thought was best for me, but it just really hurt my feelings because they didn't trust me with my phone. Like, this is like what I use for a lot of different things and how I communicate with people. And I'm sure it's the same way with you. Like, that's taking something away from you to probably communicate with your girlfriend too.
Not girlfriend anymore.
Really? Ooh. Even I didn't know that. What?
You'll never guess why it ended.
Bad grades.
I'm gonna guess parents.
I'm having a revelation right now. Okay, it was a little bit of my fault. I admit that. However, my mom decided to break us up.
What? Wow.
She made that decision for me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zayden.
It's okay.
Yeah, very sorry.
That's yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say it's okay because I feel like it's not, but I mean, I know deep down in my heart she's coming down from a good place, but it's just like, it hurts.
I mean, it's okay to be selfish sometimes, like sometimes, because it's your own feelings.
Yeah, your girlfriend is someone who you really care about. And
Yeah.
she cared about you too. Probably still cares.
Yeah.
Quick question here for me is, what do you guys think love is?
Like in what way?
Take it however you want. The question is there.
I take it as fluid. I feel like love can be seen in relationships. It's like can be seen everywhere, and I feel like that love can take different forms, and that's why I say love is like water or fluid, because you don't know. It can be whatever.
It could be like romantic wise, it could be friends, family, it doesn't really matter as long as like I feel it.
Think love is something that pulls on your heartstrings.
I don't think love has a certain definition for me. It's just like how you feel about a certain person. Love is just another way of describing how you feel.
Let's look up love.
Yeah,
It's
we
the
should look it up.
chemicals.
Let's see
It's
what
the
love
chemical.
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin. Okay, love. An intense feeling of deep affection.
Wow.
What
It
kind of
is
speech? Oh, it's a noun.
noun.
It's
It
a
is a
noun.
noun.
So it's a thing.
It's a thing?
It's a thing.
I feel
It's a
no,
thing.
it's a thing, a person, and a place.
Ooh.
No,
Okay.
that's smart though.
That
because,
is-
no, that's smart because like you don't just say like, oh my god, I love that person. No, you're like, bro, this food, bro, I love this food, or
Yeah.
like Japan, I love Japan.
Yeah.
It sounds like a verb though when you're using it.
Exactly,
It's a
bro.
verb.
English, man.
English.
Love is everything.
I should live, laugh, love.
I mean, I love being here with you guys. Like, it's fun. Talking about love. Sweet. Yeah.
Well, this podcast has been a blast. I definitely think we should do this again. But the question still remains: what is love?
Ooh.
What is love?
What is love?
I'll let y'all figure that out. But this has been Group 1. I'm Zayden.
I'm Luis.
I'm Vanessa.
I'm Aubrey.
I'm Gabby.
And we are out.